Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Kano Tryharding Modern. I'm going to play Golos Tron again. I haven't made any adjustments. And happy April Fool's Day. I'm not going to play any pranks on you, although this would be a good setup for one, I do admit. Just throw in something like, and now time for the sponsored segment of this video. Our sponsor today is Raid Shadow Legends. That probably got someone who wasn't listening very closely to the intro, but anyway. We're going to play some Golos Tron. I've already explained this once, but basically, the whole deal is Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. You play him off of Tron mana, you go tutor up Cascading Cataracts, and between Cataracts and your Tron lands, you have just enough mana to activate his second ability, which says you can exile the top 3 cards of your library and play them without paying their mana cost this turn. So it's a great way to cheat out extra cards. You can also tutor up redundant copies of your Tron lands if you need them. Can take you from 7 to 10 for Ulamog, that sort of thing. And other than that, we're just normal green Tron. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and take this into a Modern League once I get the right deck. Alright, I will see you all in round 1. Alright, we will be on the play for round 1. And I'm going to keep this. If we get a sphere or a star for our first draw, we will have an Ancient Stirrings. If not, we can actually just play a forest and cast Ancient Stirrings. Opponent is also on Tron. Alright, power plant off the top, please. We did not get a power plant off the top. Play a forest, Ancient Stirrings, get a power plant, rest of the bottom any order, pass the turn. So, it's going to come down to what threat my opponent has. They play an Urza's Mine. They play Karn Liberated, and that's probably the game. They take the tower. We untap and get a map. So, play Power Plant. Play Expedition Map. Pass the turn. Now, if my opponent doesn't have a second threat to interact with mana, and they down-tick Karn again, we will assemble Tron. Opponent plays Sanctum. Chromatic Sphere, okay. Alright, they have Karn Great Creator in addition. So, that's game. Alright, opponent just had a better Tron start than we did. So versus our opponent, we'll bring in some Wilts. We're going to drop Walking Ballista and an Ugin the Spirit Dragon. I feel like Ugin doesn't do too much in the mirror match. And I think that's the only change I'm going to make. We'll run it back. Alright, I would like to be on the play for game 2. Close, but not close enough. That's a mulligan. This is also a mulligan. I'm going to 4. Alright. So we're keeping Tronland, Karn. That's what's happening here. We got a top deck tower. There's no way we can mulligan to 3. Start mine, pass the turn. Come on, Urza's Tower. Betting it all on Urza's Tower. Opponent kept a hand of 6. Opponent starts Expedition Map. We draw Sylvan Scrying, play a power plant, yeah. Come on, tower. Need that tower. Show me the tower. Opponent's on turn 4 Tron. This is good news for us. They play a power plant. We draw Sylvan Scrying again. Come on. Come on, tower. Show me a tower. Play Sphere. Yeah, I'm actually going to sack this for green. Play Star. Pass the turn. Just didn't happen. If my opponent kept a hand of 6, they probably got it. Alright, opponent gets a Karn Great Creator, so we can't cycle this star. You get a Liquid Metal Coating. Well, if we top deck Power Plant, we can play our own, or if we top deck Tower, I mean, we can play our own Karn Great Creator, but we will still be down mana. And that's the game. Sometimes the Tron Mirror match be like that. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, round 2, we will be on the draw, and I actually think I'm going to keep this. If my opponent's on a really, really slow hand of some kind and we resolve Golos using all the lands we're holding, we can get Tower and then have a ton of mana. But, I mean, like, our odds of drawing a Tower, a Sphere, a Star, an Ancient Stirrings, a Sylvan Scrying, it's all pretty high. When it starts Blooming Marsh, Thoughtseize. So not a lot of decks I know lead on Blooming Marsh. The only one that comes to mind immediately is Lantern Control, though my opponent could still technically be Jund. They're probably not Death Shadow because they didn't reveal Luris. Okay, start Power Plant, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays Plains. Plays a Tarmogoyf. Okay, so they appear to be Abzan, which is not a deck I have seen in a very long time. Though presumably it's still kind of reasonable. If you're playing Abzan as opposed to Jund, you're not playing things like Renin 6 or Seasoned Pyromancer. You're going to be playing more traditional Dark Confidant. You're probably topping out at Siege Rhino. You might have Lingering Souls. Opponent dumps a Verdant Catacombs into the grave. Gets an Indatha Tryon. They're definitely Abzan. They hit us down to 17. Come on, Urza's Tower. Karn, Great Creator, is not what I asked for. Play a redundant Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. Well, we gotta draw something soon. And that something should probably be a tower, if we're being real here. Opponent plays a Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. They get a Batter Skull. They're just going to try and beat face as fast as they can, it looks like. Play a Nurturing Peatland and hit us for 3. We go to 14. Tower. Ancient Stirrings. Alright, play a Forest. Ancient Stirrings. Get an Urza's Tower. Rest to the bottom. Pass the turn. Next turn we'll have 10 mana, so we can play both Karn, Great Creator, and Wormcoil Engine. The problem is Wormcoil Engine is not as good versus Abzan as it is against Jund, because Abzan actually plays Path to Exile sometimes. Or I guess in a weird situation might play Oust. We untap, we draw Karn, Great Creator. So play Tower. Play Wormcoil Engine. Play Karn. We'll wish with Karn. I think I'm going to wish for another Wormcoil. Then we'll pass the turn. Not 100% on this, but it feels like the thing I should be doing. If my opponent has a Path, Tarmogoyf is going to get a bit bigger to a 4/5. You'd have a total of 9 damage on the board. They do have a Path. That is quite unfortunate. They cycle Nurturing Peatland. Okay. So they have 9 damage. We're, in theory, going to 2 here. They have Toski. Oh, this is Squirrel Blade. That makes a lot of sense. So they're going to draw up to 3 cards here. They may divert 1 creature to kill Karn, which would be reasonable. So they hit Karn, hit us, hit us. So we're going to 6. Karn down. We untap. We draw Chromatic Sphere. Play Power Plant. I think we have to wish for Ensnaring Bridge and then just pray they don't have some kind of artifact removal. Then I can play Wormcoil Engine, and they can only attack for 2. Unless, of course, they do have removal for Ensnaring Bridge. If they have removal for Ensnaring Bridge, we're just dead. If they have removal... Well, they have to have removal for Ensnaring Bridge and removal for Wormcoil, I think. But judging by our opponent's deck type, that's not that unlikely. Okay, opponent plays Liliana of the Veil. Makes a sack. We now have 2 tokens. This is a very weird way to start. They Fatal Push the life-linking token. Toski has to attack. So we'll kill the Stoneforge. They're attacking us to draw cards. Block here. Take 1, they draw a card. We untap. Draw another Wormcoil. Play Sanctum. Let's wish. Get Walking Ballista. Play Walking Ballista X8. Well, X4 for a total of 8. Sack Sanctum. We'll get Ulamog. Play Walking Ballista. I'm going to immediately kill Lily. Then I can either play Golos, Sphere, or I can play Wormcoil. And I think Wormcoil is the safer option. I could attack for 3 with Death Touch here, but I don't think that's worth it. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play a Blooming Marsh tapped. They play a Tarmogoyf. And another Liliana, okay. Well, they're gaining us 6 life this turn. They make us sack, so sack the Death Touch Worm. They go to combat. They have to attack. They almost needed to Edict themselves and get rid of Toski. Alright, we gain a free 6 life. And they scoop. The squirrel betrayed them. Alright, I'm going to bring in... Actually, am I going to bring in Spatial Contortion? Yeah, I'm going to bring in Spatial Contortion. It kills Stoneforge Mystic as well as Toski. I'm going to drop Walking Ballista and I think 1 Ulamog. I don't know that we're going to need 2 in this matchup. And I could bring in Veil here, but my opponent's on the play, so there's no chance we can, like, Veil turn 1 hand hate. They may have, like, Assassin's Trophies and stuff, and I might regret that, but we'll see. This is a mulligan. This is actually more reasonable than our opener. I think I'm still going to go to 5. Alright. Put back Golos and Scrying, I think. So opponent is going to probably start turn 1 Thoughtseize, take this map. They shot Godless Shrine. They Inquisition the map. Well, let's hope the Thoughtseize curse strikes, and we draw the card they Thoughtseize. We untap. We draw Spatial Contortion. Players is mine. Pass the turn. Well, at least we can kill most things they can play on turn 2 with this Spatial Contortion. Opponent literally kept a hand off of the strength of 1 Inquisition versus Tron. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Opponent plays Blooming Marsh that they just top decked. Oh, what the hell. Well, that was obviously the Inquisition is not the only reason they kept that hand. We don't have Wilt in the deck, so this is going to be kind of tough. We need to top deck a Forest. Star also sort of works, but not this turn. Play Star, pass the turn. Opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic. We're going to go get Batter Skull, which means we have to contort this turn, because they're stuck on 2 mana, and if we let them untap, they're going to have a threat that'll actually kill us. Draw a Worm Coil, Contortion, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Verdant Catacombs, shocks an Overgrown Tomb to 15, and plays Liliana of the Veil. Uptick, we discard Worm Coil Engine. Opponent discards Fatal Push. We untap, draw Worm Coil Engine, sack Star for green, we draw a card, another tower, Ancient Stirrings. We'll take a Power Plant, rest of the bottom, play Power Plant, pass the turn. So next turn we can play Karn. They force us to discard, so we dump our other Worm Coil Engine. Opponent Inquisitions, fails to find, and plays a Noble Hierarch. 1 card left. We untap, we draw a 3rd Karn, the Great Creator. Play Karn. Wish. I'm gonna take Sorceress Spyglass. Pass the turn. So if my opponent Thoughtseizes us, the backup plan here is to wish for Walking Ballista. Opponent cycles an Indatha Triome. Forces each player to discard. They discard Batterskull. They attack Karn. I wish I had gotten Liquid Metal Coating, because then I could Coating Karn here and hit Lily for 4. Alright, we untap. Draw Expedition Map. Play Sorceress Spyglass. Take a peek at our opponent's hand. Stoneforge Mystic. Well, I'm not worried about that. Name Liliana of the Veil. Play Expedition Map for 2 mana because of Damping Sphere. And animate the map as a blocker. Pass the turn. Opponent discarded Batterskull and kept Stoneforge. It's kind of weird. Especially when they're only 1 mana away from playing Batterskull. That's really weird. Opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic. They get Sword of Feast and Famine. Okay. We untap. Draw Chromatic Sphere. I can go down to 1 card in hand, which means I could get Bridge, and if I do, My opponent... No, I can't go down to 1 card in hand. But I can get bridge, and I can stay at 2 cards in hand, which means they could play and equip on Noble Hierarch and still attack. So we need to get Walking Ballista, put it on the battlefield. I'm going to ping Noble now, because that's the most opportune time we have to do that. My opponent would need a land to put Sword into play, and then they would have to pay to equip Sword, meaning that they would be tapped. Stoneforge Mystic would be tapped, and that should give us another turn. And next turn, if I had to, I could animate Damping Sphere and shoot it twice with Ballista. Opponent is going to Assassin's Trophy the Spyglass. That's a pretty good top deck. I messed up. I needed to ping Lily immediately. Yup. That was a huge mistake. Well, see how they divide our permanents. Yeah, the correct choice was pinging Lily to 5 there. Sack pile 2, which means we are going to lose Karn here. Okay, opponent kills Karn. We untap. Draw Sphere. We'll map and get Blast Zone. Play Blast Zone. Play Sphere on 1. So we can take up Blast Zone to 2, and then we can kill both Mystic and Damping Sphere. We're still at 20 life, so this game is far from over. Okay, opponent passes. We draw another Urza's Mine. Play Urza's Mine. Play Karn. Animate the Sphere. Pass the turn. So my opponent can put Sword into play, but they can't equip it. Not until they get rid of Karn. Which, if they can, we're screwed, but... They play Tarmogoyf. Okay. They attack Karn. I am going to chump here. If we untap and draw Spatial Contortion. God, do I take another turn off of Blast Zone? I think I've gotta get Bridge here. So play Bridge. Pass the turn. If my opponent does something like Assassin's Trophy or Blast Zone on their turn, we can at least contort and kill the Stoneforge. But if they have Assassin's Trophy, I imagine they're using it on Bridge. Opponent keeps tapping that Stoneforge Mystic. The Inquisition. They can take Contortion or they can take Chromatic Sphere. They take Contortion. Alright. Yeah, they're trying to attack with Stoneforge Mystic, I think, but they just keep clicking the ability. So they go to combat. They hit Karn for 1. Sure. Karn goes to 3. Then my opponent tries to play a 2-drop, but realizes they're being taxed by their own sphere. We untap. Draw Star. Star is excellent. Play Star. And the reason that it's so much more excellent than Sphere is because... when Star dies, we draw a card. Opponent untaps. They go to combat. They attack for 1. We chump. Draw Wormcoil Engine. Second Damping Sphere. That is not what you should have done with that card, opponent. So tick up Blast Zone to 2. Untap. We draw Golos. I'm going to go ahead and Wish. And I'm going to get Coding, because that's what I'm going to follow this up with. Pass to my opponent's turn. Okay. They play a Verdant Catacombs. They go to combat. They attack Karn for 1. The only way I'm cracking this Blast Zone is if they would actually kill Karn with this attack. Okay, they hit Karn for 1. He goes to 1. Then on their end step, destroy all 2-drops. Which is both of their Damping Spheres, Stoneforge Mystic, and Tarmogoyf. Okay, they let it happen. We untap, draw expedition map, play map, activate map, get tower, play tower, sphere, activate sphere for green, play coding, and we'll take out their white mana. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Verdant Catacombs, gets a swamp. That's weird. Is that their last fetchable land? Maybe that's just their best option, knowing we would blow up if they got a white source. They play a Tarmogoyf. They thought sees us. They see Wormcoil, Golos, Golos. Now they take Wormcoil. We untap, draw O-Stone, blow up a land, play Golos, go and get Cascading Cataracts, then play O-Stone. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, and scoops. Alright, that's round 2 in our favor, and I will see you all in round 3. Alright, round 3 we will be on the play, and this is a mulligan. Alright, we will keep this one. I think I put back Ancient Stirrings here. I think I would rather have the Forest. No. Yeah, actually, yeah, I would put back Ancient Stirrings. If I knew my opponent was a deck playing a bunch of Ghost Quarters and stuff, I would put back the basic, but opponent leads on Misty. Cracks Misty for a Temple Garden. They're definitely Heliod company. We draw that Ancient Stirrings like we never put it back. Get Urza's Tower. So the biggest thing my opponent could do to interrupt us this turn would be to play the Captain of the Guard that I can't think of the name of, Conclave Mentor. Alright. Let's go get Urza's Mine. Untap. We draw Expedition Map. Play Urza's Mine. Play Karn. The old double stone rain them, because they put an enchantment on a land. How dare they? We must punish them for it. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Misty. If they only need 2 mana this turn, they can attack and kill Karn, but I expect them to concede when we play Ugin. They play Heliod, Suncrowned. That ain't gonna cut it. Okay, we untap, we draw Wormcoil, uptick Karn, make them exile a card from their hand, play a Forest, play Ugin. That should be the game. We just -3, and then what do? They have 2 cards in hand and 2 lands. And we have 2 active, gigantic, colorless planeswalkers. Yep. Okay. So versus Heliod Company, I think I want the Spatial Contortions. I'm going to cut a Wormcoil Engine, and I think a Golos. We'll try it like that. It's worth noting that Golos gives us something to do if we're on a Tron assembly turn and my opponent sacks the Ranger Captain of Eos, or whatever it is. Ranger Captain of Eos, I think. Okay, this is a mulligan. This is also a mulligan. That's a mulligan. That's a mulligan. Alright. We'll keep 3. Put back Blast Zone, Ugin, O-Stone, Ancient Stirrings. This does not look good for us. Opponent starts Forest Noble. We draw Karn. Play Power Plant. Now, if we just draw Urza's Mine, and Spatial Contortion does anything, we're fine. Opponent Utopia Sprawls a land, naming white. They play Conclave Mentor, and attack us for 1. We untap, we draw Sanctum of Ugin, play Tower. Now, the question is, what do we Spatial Contortion? And I think we just fire this off and kill Mentor now. How did they gain more life? What am I missing? They should be at 22, right? You gain life equal to its power, right? Where did they gain life? They got a Wet Ball. And we would have had it, too. Players is mine. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Spike Feeder. Gains some life. Hits us for 1, or 2, actually. We untap. We draw Ancient Stirrings. Play Sanctum. Play Karn. Wish with Karn. Yeah, let's get Ensnaring Bridge. Pass the turn. So Karn dies here. If my opponent gets to infinite life, that doesn't matter, because we can still win by milling them out with Ulamog. I mean, obviously, if they get infinite damage, they win on the spot, so that we can't do anything about. Okay, opponent has infinite life. They kill Karn. We would like to draw a forest. We don't. And actually, even if I could get... This is only infinite life. It's not arbitrarily large creatures, right? Okay. I can keep playing here for a minute. But if they have a Skyclave Apparition, or if they get a Conclave Mentor, we lose. So, the reason behind that is, if they play the Conclave Mentor, even if my hand was empty, they would be able to attack with Noble Hierarch. And then, after it got past the bridge, basically, would be able to gain an arbitrary amount of life, and put an arbitrarily large number of counters on Noble before it dealt damage. Okay, so they gain life with Spike Feeder. We draw a tower, play tower, pass the turn. Opponent sacks Horizon Canopy to draw a card. And that's the game. Okay. Moving on to game 3. I'm going to bring in Wilt. And I'm going to drop 1 Ulamog and 1 Wormcoil. Wormcoil's still good, just less important. Okay, I'd like to play first. This hand is a mulligan. This hand might actually be keepable. It's not a fast Tron hand, but Blast Zone has the ability to do some work. And we do have a Sylvan Scrying. I'm going to put back an Ugin. I just don't want to have another Force Mulligan to 3 because I don't get land in my hand on 5 or 4. That was not fun. So we will lead on Urza's Tower, pass the turn. Next turn we'll play Sylvan Scrying, almost certainly. Okay, opponent starts tap land, that's good news for us. We draw a Chromatic Sphere. Sylvan Scrying, let's go get Power Plant. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Forest. Plays a Conclave Mentor. We untap and draw Spatial Contortion. Play Power Plant. Play Sphere. Sack it for green. We draw a map. Contort the Mentor. Pass the turn. Why are they at 25? What did I miss? How do they gain more life? Alright. Play Blast Zone. Play Expedition Map. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Horizon Canopy. Plays Heliod. Sure. Wilt the Sphere. Untap. Tutor for Urza's Mine. We draw another tower. Play the Mine. Play Karn. Wish with Karn. And the first thing we're going to get is Sorceress Spyglass. Play the Spyglass. Take a look at what's going on over there. Another Damping Sphere. Okay, so we're going to name Heliod the Sun Crowned. Just so my opponent can't give anything a lifelink. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, so they're probably going to play Damping Sphere and then cycle Horizon Canopy. But that's fine because we've already resolved Karn. We untap, we draw Sylvan Scrying. Wish with Karn. I could get Golos. That would be fun, because I have 6, that'd be 7. If I drew another land, that'd be 8. Let's just get Liquimetal Coating. Play Tower. Play Coating. And I'm going to cast Stirrings, I think. Actually, no, I'm not. Pass the turn. See if my opponent cycles Horizon Canopy. They don't. Shut off Temple Garden. Opponent plays a Misty. Tick Blast Zone up to 2. We untap. Draw Spatial Contortion. So turn off Temple Garden. Load up. Okay, opponent has Collected Company. I get an Arbor Elf, that's it. That was a massive whiff. Cast Ancient Stirrings. Let's get Karn liberated. Rest to the bottom. And yeah, we'll just contort. Better to not let them have the option of using it for something. Alright, they scoop it up. Giving us round 3. We're 2-1 going into round 4. See you guys there. Alright, welcome to round 4. This is a mulligan. This is also a mulligan. Going to 4. Yeah, we're going to 3. Alright, we'll keep. Put back Ugin, Blast Zone, Mine, Snow-Covered Forest. Start Mine Star. Here we go. Thoughtseize me, bro. Do it. Opponent starts Forest. Amulet. We're screwed. Draw Ulamog. Player is his tower. Pass the turn. We're going to wait 1 turn on cracking this star. I think that's about all we can wait. Okay, opponent plays a Boros Garrison. Okay, they play Azusa. We untap. Draw Power Plant. Play Power Plant. Cycle Star. What do we get? Golos. Golos! It's happening! Go and get a tower. Pass the turn. The only reason I got a tower and not Cascading Cataracts is because I'm holding Ulamog. So, what do you got, opponent? It's probably a Titan, but, I mean, are we dead? That's what matters. We probably are, because I imagine my opponent has enough mana to just, like, Titan, then play Garrison, get the mana, and do the whole double strike nonsense thing. Opponent gets Dryad, plays Boros Garrison, untaps it, gets mana. Okay. I was gonna say, if they've just got Titan, I think we're dead. Valakut. Well, yep, that gives them just enough damage, doesn't it? And if they didn't have the turn 3 kill... well, we fought valiantly. You know, I really miss them defining Modern as a turn 4 format. It just made the game not better, but it's nice when you actually get to play a few rounds of the game. And honestly, Tron is like a turn 3 deck. It's a virtual win on 3. Because if you play Karn and you Stone Rain a land, it's like, you know, your opponent, odds are, is going to lose. So, what do we bring in versus our opponent? I think Walking Ballista comes out, probably along with 1 Ulamog. I'll bring in the Spatial Contortions. Wilt hits Dryad. Worm Coil's not as important, so I think I can trim some Worm Coils and bring in Wilts, and we'll try like that. Okay, I would like to play first. I would like to keep this hand. Start Mine into Map. Pass the turn. They start Valakut. Play Power Plant. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays an Amulet. Well, what do you got, opponent? Selesnya Sanctuary. They untap it. Float mana. Bounce the Sanctuary. Play Grazer. Play the Sanctuary. Untap it. Float mana. Bounce the Sanctuary. Play Dryad. Play Breeding Pool tapped. Untap it. Then pass. Let's go get Urza's Tower. We untap. Draw Snow-Covered Forest. Play the tower. Play Karn. Take out Dryad. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. So we know they're holding Selesnya Sanctuary and 4 unknowns. Okay, opponent plays Sanctuary, untaps it. Floats mana. Plays another Dryad. Plays Talaria West, untaps it. And passes. We untap and draw Urza's Mine. Play Cascading Cataracts. Add 5 mana, all of it green. Ancient Stirrings. I can't O-Stone here, unfortunately, and I can't cast Ugin. I'm still going to take Ugin, because I think that's my best backup plan. We'll put the rest back. We'll go ahead and wilt the Dryad. And then, do I uptick or downtick? I think a downtick on Amulet, really. No, they only have 5 mana unless they have a ramp spell. Actually, yeah, let's play it super safe. We'll just take out Amulet and give up Karn here. Pass the turn. Actually, maybe I should have left the Dryad, wilted the Amulet, and then upticked on my opponent. And they play Colony Garden. I think that would have been better. Alright, we untap. Untap, we draw a Power Plant. They hit the one land we don't have a redundant copy of. Amazing. Play a mine, go to combat, hit them for 3. Oh no, wait, that doesn't have haste. Oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna play Selesnya Sanctuary, probably picks up Colony Garden. No, they pick up the Tolaria West. They transmute. As long as they get another land, they'll have Titan next turn. Because they can, they get Pact of Negation. Interesting. Play a Snow-Covered Forest. Sylvan Scrying. Get a tower. Game's over. Nice. Beast Within, huh? Alright, run it back. Almost. A mulligan. Perfect. And we'll keep, put back Cascading Cataracts. Opponent starts Wooded Foothills. We'll start Power Plant Map. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Wooded Foothills, gets a Breeding Pool tapped. I wonder if they're playing Pact of Negation if they're playing Hive Mind. They play Gruul Turf, picking up Breeding Pool. We draw a map, play Mine, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Shocks a Breeding Pool, plays Azusa. Castle Sanctuary. Yeah, us killing Azusa doesn't do anything here. So let's go get Tower. We untap. Draw Sylvan Scrying. I cannot stop my opponent from playing a Titan. I could get an Ensnaring Bridge out. I think we just get Coding. So Wish with Karn. Get a Liquid Metal Coding. Play Map. Play Coding. Move to my opponent's upkeep. Shut off Gruul Turf. Opponent plays Breeding Pool, untapped. Plays Sunhome. So they're casting a Titan. They got a Ghost Quarter, too. Okay. They get Vesuva and Tolaria West, so they're going to try and take us off of Tron. They hit Karn for 1. Okay, Karn goes down to 2. They're going to Ghost Quarter Tower. Okay, get a Forest. We untap. Draw Golos. So if I want to stay alive, I need to get Ensnaring Bridge. Opponent only has 1 card in hand. Odds are it's not a card that interacts with Ensnaring Bridge unless it's Beast Within, in which case we're screwed. I can get 5 mana this turn. That doesn't really change anything. I could play Golos, but... So let's go get Tower. Play Tower. Wish. Get Ensnaring Bridge. Play Bridge. Kill Azusa. Pass the turn. And we're probably going to have to rely on Golos to try and win it. We do have a Sylvan Scrying, so even if my opponent Ghost Quarters me this time... Okay, they are transmuting. They can play Titan and leave up Ghost Quarter. They can go get Valakut. Oh, they're getting Summoner's Pact, so they're going to go get probably the Dryad. Rexage. Alright, didn't know they played Rexage. They take out Ensnaring Bridge, but like 2 swings is lethal. It doesn't matter what they get. Like, my opponent would have to forget to use Ghost Quarter, and I would have to top deck Ugin to win this game, I'm pretty sure. They hit us for 6. Well, they didn't forget. And we drew Ugin, so can't do anything with the mana at instant speed, so we'll just let this go off. Get a forest. Sylvan Scrying. Get a tower. Play tower. Play Chromatic Star. Cycle for green. Get a Wilt. That doesn't change anything. Play Golos. Let's go get Cascading Cataracts. Pass the turn. They gotta pay for or lose the game. Interesting that they paid with Sunhome when I'm pretty sure they could just give Titan double strike and we'd be screwed. They Summoner's Pact again. Getting Dryad. They play Dryad. Okay, they attack, they can get like Valakut. That's 12 damage. So we can chump and go to 1. All they needed to do was attack with Rexage there, and we died. Oh, they had a land. Never mind. Alright, I'll see you all in round 5. That was a little frustrating. Alright, we're on the play for round 5. This is a mulligan. This is, I think, technically a keep. I'm going to put back Golos. We're going all in on trying to assemble Tron. We will start Urza's Mine, Chromatic Sphere. Pass the turn. Gonna cast Ancient Stirrings, obviously looking for a power plant. We have about 7 looks right now to get to 1. Between draw for turn, draw with Sphere, and Ancient Stirrings. Opponent is on Blitz. Okay. Or we just Sylvan Scrying. Get ourselves a power plant. Pass the turn. Multiple Karns is great. It means we can sacrifice as many Karns as we need to just take out all of our opponent's threats. So they're going to be playing a Stormwing Entity here. That's fine. So most likely what's going to happen here is we're going to play Karn and down tick on Stormwing Entity. They hit us for 2. We draw a star, play power plant, play Karn. Say goodbye to Stormwing Entity. Pass the turn. Opponent's going to have to take a turn off of dealing with us to deal with Karn. Or at the very minimum, they're going to direct a bolt his way. May Lava Dart Karn. Play a Steam Vents. Untapped. Stormwing Entity. They get to go Scrying. So their plan is, I think, to attack Karn here. If it's not, we can uptick this one, play the next one, and downtick on Stormwing Entity again. If we draw a land, we'll just play Ugin and wipe the board. Opponent attacks us. Okay, that's definitely a mistake if we draw land. There's the land. Uptick on my opponent. Play Blast Zone. Play Ugin. And -5. Wipe away the board. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Lava Darts our face. Light up the stage. Hitting Gutshot and Manamorphose. Playing a Fiery Islet. So my opponent might have to Gutshot Flashback Lava Dart to kill Ugin. Okay. So they Manamorphose, they get a card in the hand. But I'm pretty sure this game's over. Yeah. Alright, next game. Bringing in the Thragtusks. I'm actually almost fine with just leaving Wormcoil in the side, but what the heck, he can come too. Drop an Ulamog, maybe even both. O-Stone is a little bit slow for a board wipe. Bring in the other Walking Ballista, and I kind of want the Spatial Contortions, but I don't know what I would play them over. Like maybe 7 mana Karn, actually. 7 mana Karn is not that great when you play against Burn. Karn is best when your opponent is playing the traditional modern strategy, which is like they're curving out. They're casting 4-drops on turn 4 kind of a thing. If they're playing multiple 1-drops on turn 1, 2, and 3, like 7-mana Karn doesn't do anything. He just dies to whatever they're playing. That's a mulligan, that's a mulligan. This works. Put back Urza's Mine, Urza's Mine. Walking Ballista is not the most impressive threat to start with. Opponent plays Soulscar Mage. We draw Sanctum, play Urza's Mine, play Expedition Map. Pass the turn. Ideally, we want to play Walking Ballista on turn 4 after we play Sanctum of Ugin, because then we can actually go tutor up a Wormcoil Engine. Opponent's leading on Manamorphose here after Soulscar Mage, which is... And they're adding double red, which means they're either casting another Manamorphose or they're casting a whole bunch of burn spells, and we're going to die very fast. It looks like a whole bunch of burn spells. They gut shot us. They didn't even use the mana they added. They light up the stage. Getting light up the stage and Spire Bluff. I imagine they just light up the stage again, yeah. Fiery Islet and Swift Spear. Opponent hits us for 5. We go to 14. Untap. We draw Blast Zone. Play Power Plant. I'm just going to go ahead and get Tower so I can F6. This isn't technically correct. I should wait and see what my opponent does, but I'm already holding most of my tech lands. The only thing I might need to get is a basic, but if I have to get a basic in this situation, I'm probably just going to die. Opponent has a Wild Slash, so we're going to hit for a minimum of 6. They play Fiery Islet so they can cash it in for a draw later. They light up the stage again, hitting another Swift Spear and land. Mutagenic Growth, and we're dead. They hit us for 10, we go to 2. I can't even put Ballista on 4. I can't crack Blast Zone. And my opponent has a second Swift Spear, so even if I play Ballista and shoot a creature down, they still have another creature that can hit us. So, alright. That was a pretty good hand. Run it back. This is really the matchup where I want Weather the Storm in the sideboard. Because, like, if your opponent does one of those things where it's just like, oh yeah, no, we played a 1-drop, then we Manamorphose, double Mutagenic Growth, gut shot you, and then play the Stormwing Entity, and you're like, okay, just gain 40 life, just undo everything you did twice over. I would like to play first. This is turn 3 Tron, but with no payoff. I'm going to go for the Sylvan Scrying plan off of Chromatic Sphere. While that does open me up for more interaction, it also gives me an additional draw to try and find a threat. It's only bad if I draw Thragtusk, because I don't have a second green source to play the Thragtusk with. Obviously, getting a Wormcoil Engine would be the best case scenario for us, I think. Well, there's the Thragtusk. Cycle for green. Play Tower. Scrying. We'll go get mine. At least we got another star, so I can play Thragtusk and buy time. Also, I like how I really was definitive, like, I know this is the right course of action with the sentence that I just said, and then said, I think, at the end of it. Real vote of confidence there, Kano. So opponent fetched up another Scalding Tarn for a second basic mountain. They gut shot us. We're down to 18. This looks like a light up the stage, and it is. They get a Lava Dart and a Lightning Bolt. They play a Soulscar Mage. So next turn, the plan is to just go nuclear. We untap, we draw a Chromatic Star. Players is mine. Play the star. Sack it for green. We get a forest. So play the star. Sack it for green. We draw a Karn. Play Thragtusk. Gain 5. Back to 20. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent's leading on a Manamorphose. Adds red and red. So, worst case scenario, we can Expedition Map for Blast Zone to kill both of my opponent's threats. But that takes all of our mana next turn to do that. It also implies they're not playing a Stormwing Entity this turn. If they do that, I think I have to play Karn. Unless I draw, like, Ugin. We don't have Ulamog out, so... Them bolting Thragtusk is a good sign. They're gonna Lava Dart the token. Lava Dart the token. And then flashback Lava Dart to kill the token? Alright, well, opponent's on 2 mana with 2 cards in hand, and, they may just Lava Dart our face here. They do. So they're gonna be on 1 land, 1 card in hand. I'm dead. Holy crap, I'm actually just dead. We gained 5 life with a Thrag Tusk. Well, at least we drew Blast Zone, so we know what we're doing. Play Blast Zone. Blow up the world. But my opponent has to be holding a land and draw a land here. I don't know the odds of that happening. But it's probably pretty abysmal. Die to the gut shot. Yep. But that's why Blitz is a really good deck. I think there was a period of time in recent history, and by recent history I mean within the last couple of months, that Blitz was easily the top deck. It just like the couple of times that I got to play it, I think I played it once for the channel, it was just like completely overpowered. And I still think the deck is. I don't know if it's the best deck, but it is definitely, I would say it's in the top 2 decks in the format. I think Blitz is easily one of the strongest. It's kind of on the easier side to hate out, but with all the other stuff running around in Modern that kind of feels like you have to sideboard for, I think Blitz is easily, if not the best deck, probably the second best deck. And if anyone disagrees with that, I think you have to agree it's the third best. So I don't feel bad about losing to Blitz. I do feel bad about losing to Amulet Titan. That sucked. But I think that Titan is a bad matchup for Tron, and so it's just something that you're gonna have to deal with. I know we play Wilt basically to have artifact destruction that doesn't get nabbed by Chalice of the Void, but Nature's Claim or Natural State would be a lot better in the Titan matchup, so if you're running into a lot of that, you're gonna want to run at least one of those cards instead of a Wilt. I think if you're running into a heavy Blitz deck, definitely run Weather the Storm out of the sideboard, because if we did, like if we had Weather the Storm in our hand and our opponent cast like 17 Lava Darts, we would have gained more life than they would have ever been able to deal with, especially when we were holding a big threat to play next turn. Yeah, I think that's really all I got. It's late at night. I've really got to go to bed. I've got other stuff that I need to do early in the morning, which sucks, and then I'm maxing out my other lifts later in the day, so I hope I get enough sleep. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Remember not to believe everything you hear today, because it is April Fool's Day today. But this following message is the truth. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though the last few have been earlier. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Man, I am so excited. I get a couple of days break where I have videos pre-recorded for YouTube for a few days. I get a day off from work because I've been on call for 2 weeks, and then they give you a day off after the fact. And then I'm taking a little bit of PTO, and I am super stoked. I get to rest my brain, and I think everybody is going to notice. So, like, the videos that I have pre-recorded, they're fine. I like them. I like what I did. I've got some great limited videos coming up. I actually had so much fun playing Time Spiral Remastered Limited. It's such a great format. But I think people are going to notice that, like, after I take this break, I'm going to come back, I'll be refreshed, everything will be brand new, you know, Strixhaven's just around the corner. I am actually really stoked about Magic with Strixhaven, and there's several cards I want to build decks around. I've got boxes pre-ordered to do box openings for the channel, because I know that those are popular, and I haven't done one before, and I've definitely never recorded one. I've opened boxes before, but on like 2 different occasions ever. Like, actually bought a box and opened it with a friend. And so I'm super excited to do that for the channel, because I know that people really enjoy those. And it's something that I personally haven't gotten to do in a long time, so I'm kind of hyped to be like, yeah, let's crack some packs. Because I haven't had paper Magic cards in forever. Like, I have some, but I haven't actually, like, acquired new ones. And I haven't been excited about acquiring new Magic cards in paper for a very long time. And this set is looking so sweet that I was like, I gotta get in on this while I can. So, be on the lookout for that. And, yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. And, I hope that I get some sleep. So, y'all have a good night. Bye! You're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for watching.